You've got a mosquito up above here.
Got one on the side of your...
I decided I would honor her. I'd honor the Tom, and I'd honor the concept of potential itself and just let this play out the way that nature will intend it to play out. Bad news again this week, yo folks. But before that sentiment sinks in too deep, let me note that there's a couple intriguing little rays of sunshine to go with the gloom here. So let's work through the bitter up front, but please do stand by for the sweet. You see, we lost another bird this week. Our big tom turkey, all 40 some odd pounds of him. And you might very well ask, were we visited by another predator? Did some ornery poultry virus take hold? Well, the answer to both of these questions is no. The latest casualty on the Yosted can be attributed to none other than our Premier One electric poultry fence. Our Tom went out in a manner that can only be described as a horrible, tragic fluke. He was zapped to death, poor guy. Caught up in the fence while it was hot, the big galoot was too top-heavy to work himself free. By the time I found him, a few hours later, cold and stiff, it was far too late. My guess is the voltage stopped his heart. I feel bad for him, of course, but I also feel bad for us. Visions of a giant suckling roast turkey centerpiecing our Thanksgiving spread have to be pushed out another year. On hot days like today, the turkeys like to hang out in this shaded spot. This part of the poultry run remains shaded through most of the day, and especially during the hottest part of the day, during the heat of the day. Our Tom friend, as big and cumbersome as he is, got too close to the fence when the fence was hot. Got a wing feather or a tip of his wing caught in here. Got shocked, tried to escape, but tried to escape that direction. And in doing so, he only made things worse. So by the time I found him, he had been out here for hours, just getting fried over and over again. And who knows how long he had been dead by the time I found him, but probably for several hours. Flies were starting to come out of his mouth. Let's just say that he was not in a place where I would feel comfortable processing him for meat. I don't know how long he had been dead for. I don't know how confiscated his body was by flies and maggots. The flies were already starting to lay eggs in his mouth, so I think he was past the point where he was salvageable in terms of meat, which is really unfortunate. I would estimate that he probably weighed a good 40 pounds at that point, which would have been a lot of meat dressed down. It would have been a decent amount of meat for our freezer. And so it's really unfortunate. I had to dispose of his body, and it just all went to waste. It all went to nature, unfortunately, which is not what I wanted to do after the investment I put into this meat bird, this giant, delicious meat bird. And what a way to go, too, by the way. What a horrible way to die for our turkey friend. The day after our Tom friend perished, however, I noticed something odd. One of the turkey hens was sitting on one spot of the poultry run almost constantly. In the morning dew, in the afternoon heat, even at night. Now, very rarely she would gather up her feathers and shuffle up to the lean-to to get some food or a drink, and so on one of those occasions, I decided to peek at just what she had going on in her secret little spot. Eggs. It appears our turkey hen is broody, and she's sitting on a good little clutch of eggs. I decided right then and there that maybe, just maybe, our dearly departed Tom may have had the chance to fertilize these eggs. There are a lot of questions, of course. Was he even fertile? Can heritage Toms breed with bronze hens? Questions that I just don't have the answer to. But in the spirit of giving life a chance, I decided that I'd like to see where Miss Turkey Hen can take these eggs, and so I added a mark to all of the eggs that have potential. Anything laid after this most definitely will not be fertilized. So she'll typically go up to the lean-to to get food and water maybe twice a day. And this is one of those times, and I can sit here and look at the eggs. And like I said earlier, there are a lot of unanswered questions. Should I gather these eggs and incubate them? Would they stand a better chance if I did that? Now, that is a consideration that I did have. But given her dedication, given her broodiness, I decided I would honor her. I'd honor the Tom, and I'd honor the concept of potential itself and just let this play out the way that nature will intend it to play out. I'm very curious to see how it goes, just letting it play out that way. And so that's what I'm doing here. Now, for those of you keeping score since the last video, we have not lost any more chickens, thankfully, to predators. I've been setting out the trap every night. I've been setting up the game cam every night, and I've caught nothing in either the trap or the game cam. I do realize that predators will still want to go for those eggs, but because she's on the eggs all the time, including at night, I do think that she's safe. That being said, it is roasting out here. It's hot. It's been in the upper 90s all week. And besides giving her water, I wonder if I should give her some sort of shelter. Now, I've been reading a lot of different things. Some places I've read said that turkeys prefer to lay in the open, in like open fields, unlike chickens. And other places say, no, turkeys are a lot like chickens. They want a roof over their head. They want to feel confined when they lay. There's been differing bits of information that I've gathered on how I should do this. Suffice it to say, I do think I should at least have a shelter nearby, if for nothing else than to give her just a little bit of shade when the weather gets really hot. We do have that old pig shelter down in the woods where the pigs used to hang out under. And so Dad and I decided that we're going to collect that and bring it up and at least put it in the general vicinity of Miss Hen to see what she thinks. One thing we've noticed down here in the woods, and right now we're down in the woods, in the area where the pigs used to be. Everywhere that used to be a pig run, all of the foliage, all of the undergrowth was completely destroyed by those pigs. You just need to go back to older videos to see how they turned everything that they ran through into an absolute moonscape. Any sort of vegetation was completely eaten up by them. But now that we're a year out from the pigs, over a year out from the pigs, or no, 6 months from the pigs. Yeah. You've got a mosquito up above here.
You've got one on the side of your...
Now that we're 6 months out from the pigs, we've noticed that this stuff has started to grow up wherever the pig run was. We have no idea what this was, but you just did a plant recognizer app. Were you able to figure out what this...
Something called Japanese stillgrass, species of brown tops. I have no idea what that is.
Maybe one of our viewers knows what this is. This was what was left after the pigs just decimated this land, this stuff. We'll do a little more research on it. It's just interesting because you'll look over all of the pig zone areas and this stuff is prolific. It just sprouted right up. I'm very curious to find out what this is. Do some more research on this Japanese... Stillgrass. Still. That'll be my starting point. They're not going to mess with this like the pigs did.
No.
I think later I'll come by.
Maybe when it's cooler.
When it's cooler, I'm going to strap this down. I'll probably cut that off. And I will add more zip ties. Or you know what? I'm just going to get a new tarp covering altogether.
And it won't look all ratty.
Yep,
and it'll be
agreed.
In good shape.
Nice, thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what happens with these turkey eggs. We're not going to incubate them. We're going to let this mama hen, this mama turkey hen, lay on them and see where nature takes us. If she hatches out little turkey chicks, awesome. That's something I was thinking of doing anyways. And if they end up being blanks, as it were, then that's okay too. I think our good friend Tom deserves the dignity of at least giving those eggs a shot. May he rest in peace. Maybe he'll have some little chicklets running around here in the next few weeks. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Until I see you again next time, remember, as always, slowly, slowly.